Welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. ANC-NEC concludes on the party's NWC in a late-night vote. The meeting elected members to the ANC National Working Committee, and which is tasked with carrying out the decisions and instructions of the NEC and to conduct the current work of the ANC. In addition to the 6 officials, the newly elected members of the NWC are Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Lindiwe Sisulu, Naledi Pandor, Jeff Radebe, and Angie Motshekga, as well as Derek Hanekom, Edna Molewa, Toko Didiza, Nomvulo Mokonyane, Nathi Mthethwa, Ronald Lamola, and Tina Jomat Peterson, as well as Dakota Lechuta, Senzo Mhunu, Zizi Kodwa, Tony Ngeni, Batabile Dlamini, Norma India Mfeketo, Barbara Creasy, and Thandi Modisa.
Really shows the balance of power in the NEC and where it is likely to go. It is split in the middle with people that we are well aware of to be pro-Zuma people, and also people who are pro-Ramaphosa faction. Also suggests that other people are noticeably omitted from the NWC. And I think that's an interesting point.
For more on this story, we are now joined on the phone line by political analyst Professor Seepe. Good morning to you, and thank you for your time. So it looks like there are only a handful of Zuma sympathizers in the NWC. This could be seen as the CR side getting the upper hand in this election. What do you say to this?
Well, I'm actually surprised that people read the outcome of the NWC in that fashion. When you look at the number of people who are in that who used to be supporters of Nkosazana, you will not come to the notion of an upper hand. What you see is a balanced mix of members of the ANC. Some of them are people who used to be in the NWC before and have been returned. And what you also see is that the notion of the balance that was there in the NEC of the ANC still exists in the NWC, that the message of trying to bring both sides to the table seems to be an overwhelming message that has emerged. So I do not buy this notion of an upper hand. I think it's a figment of people's imagination. And it is the same way as you saw some of the media titles this week, even suggesting that the president was going to be recalled this weekend. And when you look at the statement of the ANC to the deliberations, there is not even a mention of a recall in the statement of the ANC through the Secretary General that was released today. So what you still have wishful thinking among the people whose objective is to try to weaken the ANC from implementing the resolutions that emerged from the ANC's 54th conference. So these interpretations are some of the interpretations that are force-fed by the mainstream media, when in effect people are not looking at the names of the people who are there. But I want to indicate that it is not true that there's any upper hand, and it is also an attempt to undermine the message that emerges from the president of the ANC, who has continuously tried to say the ANC must start speaking in one voice. There should no longer be the serious grouping. There should no longer be Nkosazana's grouping. It should be members of the ANC tasked with a job to do. And the job to do is derived from the mandate they got from the ANC conference and in the form of resolutions.
All right, but now the decision to manage Zuma's exit amicably, instead of going, as you say, the fractious recall route, shows perhaps maturity, and that sense has prevailed in the NEC. It would also indicate perhaps that the party officials are more worried about the prospects for the 2019 polls and see Zuma's exit from that context. What do you say to that?
No, that is very true. I mean, the 2019 is around the corner. So anything that threatens the ANC's unity would actually work against the ANC. People must also understand that it is not the obsession of the media that is going to make the ANC win. The ANC's obsession should be about responding to people on the ground. As the NEC of the ANC was meeting, you had a school that was refusing to take black kids under the notion of language, but it is still an issue of exclusion. And we've seen those protests. Those are the protests that ultimately will win the ANC if it responds to them. But if the ANC gets obsessed with issues that are dictated, an agenda that is dictated by the media, then the ANC will lose the elections. The elections are not going to be won because the ANC leadership has shown, or some of them have managed to show that dislike of the president of the country by getting the dictates from the mainstream media and also those who represent white monopoly capital.
So what would you say to people saying it's clear then than ever that President Zuma won't be able to complete his term and he'll have to relinquish his chair sooner rather than later?
It may be possible that he may choose to leave earlier, but that is not going to be dictated externally. Members of the ANC are very clear, but look, if the president of the ANC wants to be a president of the country, he needs to make sure that there is a general support on the ground. But if you disturb that and you have provinces that have supported people like Mosazana and people like President Zuma, then you can rest assured that instead of people withdrawing from the ANC, they'll be actively demobilizing members and the communities against the ANC. The ANC, there are people in the ANC who have not recovered from the defeat in Polokwane. And when you listen to members of the ANC, those are people who are clear. Every time they speak, they don't talk about the issues, or they don't talk about the people of this country, they talk about Jacob Zuma. They don't talk about the challenges of this country, they talk about Zuma. Their mission and their reason for existence is to effect a revenge. These are people who are very, very vengeful. But I don't think the ANC at the moment, it is through Cyril Ramaphosa, is pursuing that agenda.
Thank you very much. That was Professor Seepe joining us for more on the ongoing meeting of the ANC NEC on the new National Working Committee.